Alright guys, I got a square watch for you today. Something different than a square G-Shock anyway. Which, there's one just off to my left here of those as well. But today we're going to look at the EMG. And this is called the Horizon. It has a Seiko meca-quartz movement in it. This is the VK64. You can see it as a chronograph. We'll get that guy running. And it's a super cool watch. I almost consider this, and I know some might argue with me because it's a very tag Monaco look to it, but I almost view it as like a wild card watch for me. It has a really cool, this isn't my watch, this is a prototype by the way. Eric sent this over. This was a collaboration with Eric, Derek, and Eddie from HKED. Same group of guys that did that Nemo, and there's a bunch of other watches they've worked on in the past, and this is one that is a super fun one, and it comes in a few different colorways. I'm going to put a link in the description to the website where you can look at them and get all the specs. I'm going to cover a few things real quick though with you. But one of the things that stand out, besides the fact that it is a Seiko meca-quartz stuffed in a square case, which is awesome all on its own, but you also have this crazy sapphire crystal that just kind of contours over this way. So it gives some really cool light play and effects when you get certain angles. See how it almost like bends the dial? It's pretty wild. Very fun. So there is that. You have the signed crown. You have the double pushers there. Of course, you already seen the case back. It's nice and smooth. Now, there will be some changes to it in the final production model. They're subtle, but they're going to be welcome ones. Like you're going to have the drilled lug holes, of course, and then see those. I'll zoom in here. Now, some of the print on the dial and everything is going to change, but see those little screw heads off to the sides? Those are going to be slotted, so they actually look like screws that are holding the dial down. The Horizon Chronograph 50 meter print down there, just above the 6 o'clock, is going to be a little bit larger. And I'm not sure if they're going to change a few other things. I think they were going to change some of that center bar printing through there and just sharpen some things up. So, but overall, it's a really good package already, and this is, a prototype. I'm not sure how many prototypes most micro brands go through. I was just listening to that Two Broke Watch Snobs podcast, and they were interviewing a micro brand owner, which hopefully I'll meet him at the wind-up event. But most of these guys, from what I understand, go through like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 different prototypes before they nail down an ultimate design. But it comes on this, it's a lower grade leather strap, but I mean, you're talking crazy price points on this already. So I think it's definitely sufficient. I think it wears nice, but I'm a little bit weird in that fashion that I actually do like the less expensive leather. I just like the way it already feels broken in on my wrist. And I noticed I posted up a picture of this before, and somebody had commented that they're like, man, that's got to be super uncomfortable. Oddly enough, this thing feels amazing on wrist. There is no hot spots at all. There's no digging, no corner digging, anything. Like, it just feels perfect as soon as you strap it on. So it is, case size is only like, I wrote down some measurements here. It's like, I think they have it down as 38 square. So it's like 38 here, but I think when I measured from top to bottom on just the square part is closer to like 37. It's not quite 38, but once you get it from lug tip to lug tip, you're at like 46. And then the thickness is only 10 and a half. And then you have 22 millimeter lug width. Let me back up on that. The 10 and a half is just the case. If I measure including that full dome on the crystal, it's 12 millimeter. So it's still really thin. Sometimes you need to know how thick that dome is on the crystal because it doesn't necessarily make it feel any thicker in many cases. So at 50 meter, I think I covered most everything. The price point on this right now is $350. I think that's a really good value for this style watch, I'm going to give you a wrist shot. It has BGW9 lume on it, so the lume's actually really good too. And then thankfully Eric and the guys gave you guys a code you can put in. So if you order it, here it is on my 7 1/4 wrist. And seriously, I wore it as soon as I got it in from Eric. I put it on and I wore it for like 3 days straight. It is such a cool watch. I'm really probably going to pick one of these up because I think I've mentioned in some older videos, if you guys are watching all my videos, that I was looking for a wild card. And for me, like I said, this feels like a wild card for me, for my collection. And you can't go looking for a wild card. They just show up. This thing just showed up. So I instantly was just like, yes, this feels perfect. So back to what I was starting to say though, Eric and the guys, they agreed if you buy one of these, they're on pre-order. So if you go to the link, you go to the site and you do the pre-order, if you use, he should have entered the code, so it should work. Let me know if it doesn't. But if you use the code RANDOMCORK, they're going to throw in this pretty cool, I've never seen a cork strap before. It's genuine leather on the backside, and then it's like a cork material on the top side. So they're going to include this if you do the random cork, random Rob, but it's just use RANDOMCORK in the, there should be a spot somewhere to put a discount or code or something like that, and that'll prompt them to ship this so you can see what it would look like on the cork. And like I said, there's other colorways, so like even if you aren't going to order one, you just click on the link and go check it out because there's some pretty cool colorways. There's this one's the dark blue with red, and of course it has that whitish colored stripe. I personally like this one. There is a turquoise with a red, which is super cool looking. There's what they call a petrol blue with orange, which is super cool as well. It's a little bit darker blue, and it has the orange accents. And then there's a black reverse panda, which I know is going to be a big seller. Anything, panda or even reverse panda, I think always looks really good. And then there's a racing one, which is a little more, black and reddish colored, so it's pretty cool looking. So, but there's a quick look at that guy. Definitely check it out, guys, if you're in the market for just something a little bit different. And I know it doesn't look like it'd be comfortable, but I'm telling you, as soon as you put it on, it feels at home. It is crazy the way this case design just feels perfect on wrist. And you wouldn't guess it by looking at it, but it really does. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks Eric, Derek, and Eddie for sending over these products and offering a discount code, basically a free strap for ordering this. Hope to see many more cool watches from these guys. See you on the next vid. Yep, almost forgot the lume shot. So there's that BGW9 lume. It glows a really nice, cool blue. So just enough application, for this style of watch. I think that's plenty, and it looks great.